This regular meeting, the Montana Public Service Commission, is now in session. The time is 9:30 a.m. The date is October the 1st, 2019. We're in the Bollinger Room of the offices of the Montana Public Service Commission in Helena, Montana. In the Bollinger Room with me today, Vice Chairman Lake, Commissioner Koopman, Commissioner Pinocci, and Commissioner O'Donnell. Do we have you on the line with us? Apparently not yet. With that, I would ask all of you please to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Mr. Kraske, you have an introduction you'd like to make?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I'm happy to introduce our new staff attorney at the Commission, Ashley Morgeau. She started on Monday, and if you haven't had a chance to meet her yet, feel free to stop by her office. We're excited to have her with us at the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ashley. All right, moving on now to public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to offer public comment before the commission at this time? Seeing none, we will move on to our full agenda, beginning with action items. Item number 1, approval of minutes from the previous meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
Been moved and seconded. We approve those minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 2, request for out-of-state travel approval. Mr. Rosequist.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, staff requests approval for Jordan Voigt to travel to Seattle on October 21st to the 25th to attend an annual meeting of Region 8 state and federal rail safety inspectors. The expected cost of this out-of-state travel is approximately $1,300. And we expect most of that will be covered with the FRA grant that the Commission received this year. And staff recommends approval, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a motion to that effect?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We approve the request for out-of-state travel. Discussion of the motion. Hearing none, call the question on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Rosequist. Moving on now to work session items. Item number 1 in docket 2019.08.047 and 2019.08.048 Energy West. Mr. Casey.
Good morning, Commissioners. So the purpose of this work session is to consider consolidation of these two dockets. To refresh your memory, they are petitions for accounting orders from Energy West and Cut Bank Gas. The Commission has the authority to consolidate dockets when they involve similar questions of law and or fact, and when it won't injure either of the parties or any of the parties. The underlying figures in each of Energy West and Cut Bank's petitions are different, but the reason for the accounting order, a change in the way their assets are taxed, and the law that's going to be applicable to our consideration of the petitions are identical. And so in the interest of efficiency, staff would recommend that you consolidate these two dockets, and that we consolidate the two dockets into the Energy West docket, and consider them jointly moving forward.
Commissioner Pinocci.
I'd like to take staff's recommendation.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We adopt staff recommendation. Discussion of the motion. Hearing none, call the question on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Casey. Work session item number 2 in docket 2019.08.051 Northwestern Energy. And Ms. Arnold?
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I'll start off by noting that there is an error in the staff memo. In the subject line, the docket number should be 2019.08.051. I mistakenly typed 2019.09.051, so that should be corrected. On August 16th, 2019, Northwestern Energy filed its annual adjustment for its Bonneville Power Administration Residential Exchange Program credit for the period of October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020. BPA notified Northwestern that the credit would increase to $6.1 million for fiscal years 2019 and 2020. Northwestern proposed to set the rate to distribute $6,015,112 to customers based on the total of the credit plus an estimated reduction of PSC and Montana Consumer Council taxes of $12,784 minus a prior period balance of $131,330. This adjustment results in a decrease to the typical residential customer who uses 750 kilowatts per month. The decrease would be 8 cents per month or 96 cents per year. The actual amount will depend on each customer's class and usage. On August 30th, 2019, the Commission issued a notice of filing an opportunity to comment with a deadline of September 13th, 2019. No comments were received. Staff recommends interim approval of this BPA credit adjustment as requested in Northwestern's filing. We do recommend that it's interim at this time simply because of Senate Bill 244. We have a roundtable discussion coming up to discuss what all should be included in that.
Commissioner Koopman.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of, on an interim basis, of the BPA credit adjustment.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We adopt staff recommendation for interim approval. Discussion of the motion. Commissioner Koopman.
I think the staff memo says it all. As I understand it, the calculation process is actually set through 2028, so really we don't have any real wiggle room here to do much to change that anyway, do we?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Koopman, we do not have any wiggle room to change it. There is a set amount through 2028 to be refunded to utilities. The actual amount that's refunded to utilities will vary depending on the utilities' individual average system costs and BPA's priority firm rates. There's a calculation in there that adjusts it slightly every year.
Thank you, Robin. Yeah, boy, I sure don't know what the people, the ratepayers, are going to do with an extra 96 cents a year, but I'm sure they'll think of something. Thank you.
Is there further discussion of the motion? Vice Chairman Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Zach, is there a problem, since this is a docket strictly for the Northwestern Energy residential exchange credit, including the numbers from the change of the funding for the commission and the MCC? Does it make any difference? They can be merged together without having it in the title.
Chairman Johnson, Vice Chairman Lake, subject to check, what I think is going on here is the increase in the BPA credit reduces Northwestern's tax liability, and so it actually reduces the tax that customers need to pay and which Northwestern needs to recover. So I think that's what's going on here, but I'm going to have to go back and look at the filing for a little bit more information.
Okay, because it's just it seems just question whether or not we can put that in when they filed for a reduction of the BPA credit, and then they include the reduction of the taxes collected to fund us.
And Chairman Johnson, Vice Chairman Lake, if you think about it, if this is the total revenue that Northwestern is allowed to collect, and this includes a fraction, which is their MCC and PSC tax. When you, and this part right here is the BPA credit. When you increase this credit, it decreases this total value which Northwestern is allowed to recover, and the PSC and MCC taxes are a percentage of that total revenue, I believe. And so when you reduce the revenue from the BPA credit, it in turn reduces the PSC and MCC tax.
All right, that does make sense. It's not the entire amount, it's strictly the net amount after the reduction from the BPA. Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Further discussion of the motion. So, Mr. Regala, had you been the presenter and offered us a theme for this docket, I suspect it would have been don't spend it all in one place. Is that where you'd have gone? That's right. With no further discussion of the motion, we'll call the question on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you all very much. That concludes the open work sessions for this meeting. We are going to go into closed session now for 2 out-of-cycle work sessions having to do with litigation strategy. So we will reconvene in the Commissioner Conference Room.